I chose to just film this video right after I filmed the other one because I figured, why not? Hi, y'all. So, I have 10 new books to add to my TBR cart. And so I'm going to go through, read the backs for you guys if you guys are interested in reading any of these. Or if you guys have already read some of these books, you can let me know down in the comments. Let me know what I'm getting into. If you choose to spoil the book, I mean, just, can you give anyone who may be reading the comments a warning that you're gonna spoil the book? I know I'll still read them even if there's a spoiler, but I know some people don't want to be spoiled, so I'm trying to take them into consideration. But without further ado, we're gonna get right on into this. The first book I ended up picking up is Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates. When Krista joins a tour group heading deep into the Rocky Mountains, she's hopeful this will be her chance to put the ghosts of her past to rest. But when a bitterly cold snowstorm sweeps the region, the small group is forced to take shelter in an abandoned hunting cabin. Despite the uncomfortability, claustrophobic quarters, and rapidly dropping temperature, Krista believes they'll be safe as they wait out the storm. She couldn't be more wrong. And it captivated me with that. I love dark, creepy, scary novels. I get a huge kick out of them. So I'm super excited to read this one. I am very eager to see what happens. I have done no research and I've never read a Darcy Coates book before, so if you guys have, let me know down in the comments what you think. As with everything, I don't want to keep saying that, but please feel free to leave your opinions on books down in the comments because I would love to hear them. I really would. The Only Good Indians, and it is by Stephen Graham Jones. A tale of revenge, cultural identity, and the cost of breaking from tradition in this latest novel from the Jordan Peele of horror literature, Stephen Graham Jones. Seamlessly blending classic horror and a dramatic narrative with sharp social commentary, The Only Good Indians follows 4 American Indian men after a disturbing event from their youth puts them in a desperate struggle for their lives. Tracked by an entity bent on revenge, these childhood friends are helpless as the culture and traditions they left behind catch up to them in a violent, vengeful way. I love reading novels like this one because it gives me an outlook into the realities of what other people go through. And all of these are going to get added to my TBR cart, so I don't know how quickly I'll get to reading them all, but I'm going to try to. The reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson, and I got the only at Walmart exclusive content of it, which I thought was really interesting, and I was curious what extra stuff is in it. And she's also the writer of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I've never read that, but I've heard good things about it. 18-year-old Belle has lived her whole life in the shadow of her mom's mysterious disappearance. 16 years ago, Rachel Price vanished and young Belle was the only witness, but she has no memory of it. Rachel is gone, long presumed dead, and Belle wishes everyone would just move on. But the case is dragged up from the past when the Price family agrees to a true crime documentary. Belle can't wait for filming to end, for life to go back to normal, and then the impossible happens. Rachel Price reappears, and life will never be normal again. Like, where's she been? Where's she been all this time? Like, her daughter's grown up without her for, what, 16 years? 16 years, yeah. Her mom's been gone for 16 years, and then you just, whoop, you're back? Like, nobody could find you? Like, that just mind boggles me. And I just wanted to know, like, where you been, Mom? I'm just excited. I'm interested, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to read that one. That might be one of my next pickups, and I love so when books have, like, the little, I don't know what it's called. It's like etching, where you can kind of feel that the cover has, like, texture to it. I love that. I love that so much. We've got next, They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. If I pronounce any of these authors' names wrong, you guys need to tell me. You do, because I will continue, and I'll say it with my whole chest, thinking I'm right, and then, like, 5 years down the road, I find out I'm not right. That's a whole lot of embarrassment I don't want to have to go through. But they both die at the end. On September 5th, a little after midnight, Death Cast calls Mateo Torres and Rufus and Materio. Oh gosh, I'm so bad with names. to deliver some bad news. They're going to die in less than 24 hours. Mateo and Rufus are total strangers, but for different reasons. They're both looking to make a new friend on their end day. The good news is there's an app for that. It's called Last Friend. And through it, Rufus and Mateo meet up for one final epic adventure to live a lifetime in a single day. Like, that sounds so wholesome. Like you guys are dying in 24 hours and you're like, I just need a buddy that understands and can relate to what I'm going through. That's amazing. The next book we've got is another Darcy Coates book, and it's Parasite. When a guard discovers an unusual life form on her remote moon outpost, she disregards protocol to investigate with catastrophic consequences. The parasitic alien wears its victims' skins and adopts their personalities. It mimics the way they talk, the way they look, the way they act, and it's the perfect disguise. And by the time humanity realizes it's facing extinction, it's already too late. As the aliens' ruthless progress collapses communication networks, wipe out defenses, and leaves hundreds of stations to fend for themselves, a handful of remarkable individuals must find a way to battle the greatest threat the universe has ever encountered, or at least die trying. I am so excited to read this one. I love sci-fi, I love aliens, I love, like, the movie franchise Aliens. Oh, so good, so good. I actually have a husky named Ripley, and he is named after Sigourney Weaver's character, and I love him to pieces. He's such a sweet boy. The next book we have is by Ellery Lloyd. It's called The Club. This was a book, I want to say we found the next 3 books, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, this book and the next 2 books we have were found in, like, the little $5 dump bin of books. I fall for that at stores. I know it's probably not a huge deal, but I fall in love with books like shopping like that, because then you dig through and you find ones that really catch your attention. I think it's amazing. The Home Group is a glamorous collection of celebrity members clubs dotted across the globe where the rich and famous can party hard and then crash out in its 5-star suites far from the prying eyes of fans and the media. The most spectacular of all is Island Home, a closely guarded, ultra-luxurious resort just off the English coast, and its 3-day launch party is easily the most coveted A-list invite of the decade. But behind the scenes, tensions are at a breaking point. The ambitious and expensive project has pushed the Home Group CEO and his long-suffering team to their absolute limits. All of them have something to hide, and that's before the beautiful people with their own ugly secrets even set foot on the island. As tempers fray and behavior worsens, as things get more sinister by the hour and the body count piles up, some of Island's home members will begin to wish they'd never made the guest list. Because at this club, if your name is on the list, you're not getting out. I am not a partier, so in a lot of, this caught my attention because I was like, this is probably the reason I don't go to parties, and I am a homebody and scared of people. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited for all of these books. I feel like I don't know if I'm not excited about a book until I'm like, maybe like a fourth of the way into a book, and then I'm like, well, shoot. Maybe I don't like this book all that much. And this is The Nighthawks by Ellie Griffiths. There's so much blood, that's what he always remembers. Even after the police and the ambulance have left, there was blood on the grass and even on the trees, dripping into the mud like some Old Testament plague. He follows his father, who treads blood into the house, and when he leans heavily against the wall to take off his boots, a bloody handprint is outlined on the yellow wallpaper. His father goes into the sitting room, sits on his chair by the fire, and opens the newspaper, almost as if nothing has happened, almost as if his hands aren't still stained with her blood. He goes back out to the barn, the dog comes to him then, leans against him as if he understands. It's the only time the dog has shown him any affection, and he supposes that he's grateful. But another part of him wonders if he'll ever feel any proper human emotion again. There's a flurry of action as the ambulance men maneuver the covered stretcher, sliding it into the vehicle. Such an easy, fluid movement. Then the wheels crunch away over the gravel, and the birds rise up from the fields where they have been feasting on the scattered corn. And then, suddenly everything is silent. Just the weathercock slowly turning off on the roof. It's as if the house has retreated somehow, and from now on, no matter how much noise there is in the outside world, here it will always be silent. The next one we've got is Stay Close by Harlan Coben. Megan is a suburban soccer mom who once upon a time walked on the wild side. Ray used to be a talented documentary photographer, but now finds himself in a dead-end job, posing as a paparazzo. Broom is a detective who can't let go of a cold case. Each is hiding secrets that even those closest to them would never suspect. When the terrible consequences of long-ago events threaten to run their quiet suburban lives, they will come to the startling realization that they may not want to forget the past at all. As Megan, Ray, and Broom are faced with the excitement of temptation and the desperation and hunger that can lurk behind even the prettiest facades, they will discover a hard truth. The line between one kind of life and another can be as whisper thin as a heartbeat. People magazine gave this book 4 stars. I'm curious what Goodreads gave this one. Oh, and this one was only $3.98. How much was it originally? It was originally $17. Deals. You can find so many good deals on books. And oh, this one's by Penguin Random House. I'm excited, though. I'm excited to read this one. This one is also a Netflix book club book. So I don't know, does that mean that it's going to Netflix? I don't know much about the back end of books or how books become movies and things like that. Because there's a lot of books I read that I really feel like would make great movies, but I feel like the rest of the world doesn't agree, so some of the books I've wanted to become movies haven't become movies, but I guess that's okay. These next 2 books I took a chance on. They were the buy one get one from Barnes & Noble, so you buy one get one 50% off. But I've always wanted to try reading this author because I've heard good things about her book, and I actually just read The Coworker about a week ago. About a week ago, I read The Coworker. So at the end of the month, that will be on my books I've read this month video. And I haven't decided, so let me get your opinion while I got you guys here. Would you rather see my end of the month, how many books I've read video at the end of the month or at the beginning of the next month? I never mind when I see them from my favorite booktubers. I'll watch, like, you could tell me that you read these books in March and it's now May, and I'd still watch it. But I don't know. What would you guys be interested in seeing? Because I'd love to pick your brain about it. This book I've got is by Frida McFadden, and it's The Locked Door. While 11-year-old Nora Davis was up in her bedroom doing homework, she had no idea her father was killing women in the basement, until the day the police arrived at their front door. Decades later, Nora's father is spending his life behind bars, and Nora is a successful surgeon with a quiet, solitary existence. Nobody knows about her past, and she'll do anything to keep it that way. Then one of her young female patients is murdered, killed in the same unique and horrific manner that her father used to kill his victims. Somebody knows who Nora is. Somebody wants her to take the fall for this unthinkable crime, but she's not like her father. The police can't pin anything on her as long as they don't look in her basement. So I feel like that kind of gives away parts of the book, but I learned from The Coworker, Frida McFadden likes to keep you guessing. I felt like a flippin', like, it was my job to figure out how that book ended before it ended, and I did not figure out how that book ended before it ended. But if you know, you know all about the turtles. And then the next book I got is also by Frida McFadden, which she's got, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of books. And I'd like to read them all. So, Frida, keep writing books, because I could make a whole year of just reading your novels, ma'am. Because if your books are all like The Coworker, they're pretty decent. They're pretty decent. Like, pretty good reads. I was able to finish it in a day and a half, I think. I think it took me a day and a half with work and things going on. So they're good, quick reads. Sometimes the truth kills. Newlyweds Trisha and Ethan are searching for the house of their dreams. They think they've found it when they visit the remote manor that once belonged to Dr. Adrian Howell, a renowned psychiatrist who vanished without a trace years ago. But when a violent winter storm traps them at the estate, the house begins to lose its appeal. Stuck inside and growing restless, Trisha stumbles on a collection of audio transcripts from Dr. Howell's sessions with patients. As Trisha listens to the cassette tape, she learns about the terrifying chain of events leading up to the doctor's mysterious disappearance. With each tape, another shocking piece of the puzzle falls into place, and a web of lies slowly unravels. But by the time Trisha reaches the final cassette, the one that reveals the entire horrifying story, it will be too late. This reminded me in a way of Misery, movie about the woman so in love with the book author that she ends up kidnapping him. When I was reading the back of this book, that was the urge I got, and it's the urge I still got today. Do I think it's anything similar? No. But I don't know why it's giving me that urge. I'm eager to try out all 10 of these books. If you guys have read these books, let me know what you thought down in the comments, because I love getting opinions on books. It's why I buy some of the books that I buy, is because somebody gave me an opinion of it online, and I was like, well, if that's your opinion, I'm going to take it as if it's law, and then I'm going to give it a shot. Like I said, it's why I bought ACOTAR, and I still haven't made it through the first book, and my fiance's finished the whole series, and he doesn't like reading. And yeah. But that's my 10 new books for my TBR cart. I am so looking forward to reading all of them, and I still have 2 more stacks of books that I have to go through and tell you guys about before I add them to my TBR cart. And then I still have to go through my bookshelves and pull out the books I have never read that are on there, or any books that I may want to read. So, we're there. I have a couple of series that I would like to reread that I read when I was a teenager. I need to stop talking is what I need to do, because this is going to keep going on forever if it doesn't, and I'm already at 23 minutes. Yeah, okay, we're done. These are the 10 books for my TBR cart. I'm going to cut myself off because clearly I can ramble forever and a half. And I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope, if anything, I was able to give you guys some ideas on some books you'd be interested in reading. If you've got any book recommendations for me, leave them down in the comments. I'd love to check them out. If you have any opinions on these books, I'd love to hear them. Leave them down in the comments. Please respect others. And if it has a spoiler, let people know ahead of time so that way they can avoid the comment, because just because I don't mind spoilers doesn't mean that everybody else doesn't. So, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, be kind to one another, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.